Hello, I am the cartoonist M. Rashid. Today's cartoon uh, was inspired by a comment made by my ideological foe. Uh, it's a two-part comment. It starts off by saying, go back to Africa inward, and I'm not going to tell you what the second part said because I decided to break it apart and do a cartoon for each part of it. So I'll tell you what the other part of it said tomorrow, inshallah. With this cartoon, this cartoon is the addresses the go back to Africa or go to Africa, and I'm like, what does Africa have to do with me? Yeah, how are you telling me that? I don't know nothing about Africa. That's weird. You can say that to the immigrant. It makes a lot more sense. I don't know anything. The last time my ancestors were in Africa, all the current countries didn't exist except Egypt or whatever. I'm like, there was none of that was there at the time I was there. In fact, my original ethnic groups probably are extinct or were packaged up and branded and put on those great stinking ships. I don't know anything about Africa on that side because it's so different now because you all showed up after I left, after the transatlantic slave trade, after the vaccinations, when you could step foot on it without catching the disease and dying that hour. As soon as all that dynamic changed, you were thick up in it. In fact, I talked about it before. There's millions of white people there who are the actual direct descendants of those European trading companies from the transatlantic slave trade. This is very significant. So Africa looks real different than it did 400 years ago. I don't want to go over there. For what? To see you again? I'm dealing with enough over here. I don't need, I'll deal with the devil I know, so to speak. Anyway, plus, I have no memory by design. Remember, I'm not an immigrant. I didn't come to the United States of America searching for a better life, and I was forcibly brought over here and deliberately cut off from everything I knew to make me a more efficient slave. As soon as you found out that we could communicate with the drums over long distances, you cut that out as the most high profile example. Nothing for Africa. Cut me off from everything I know to anchor me here. So now I'm anchored here. Congratulations, you made it. Now I'm anchored here. I am a native of the United States of America. I am the most USA citizen of any other ethnic group here. I am a native of the USA. None of the rest of you can make such a claim because you're all immigrants and immigrant children. Proudly waving your little flags. My flag is Old Glory. It's the only flag I know. And my family, look, I'm light skinned. So I'm like a eclectic mixture of all kinds. I don't know what other ethnic groups make me up. I have no idea. No way. Do one of those little tests, it'll like do that scam and say, you're shut up. You're just collecting data from the people for corporate. Shut up. The continent looks extremely different. All kinds of crazy stuff happened after the rise of European imperialism. All kinds. You like tilted it up. Which president was that was standing on top of it in that Golden Age illustration? Kicking stuff. Lord knows what he messed up standing on top of it like that. Africa real different. I don't know nothing about it. On purpose. You wanted me not to know anything about it. So let's talk about the criterion for being an indigenous native of a land. Because I am, without doubt, an indigenous native of the United States of America. The country, the 200-something-year-old country. I'm an indigenous native of this country. How? Using your own criterion. Remember the people who crossed the Bering Straits so long ago. What was it? 13,000 years ago, whatever your dates are. Crossed the Bering Straits into North America. These people you categorize as the indigenous natives of the North American, of the New World, the North and Central and South Americas. That's you. These are indigenous natives because they crossed over the Bering Straits. They crossed over from where? From Asia somewhere. Do they remember? The survivors with the oldest memories might have some memory of like the distant past, but they have no realistic connection to whatever was going on in the old world anymore. By your own criterion, because they no longer remember those old ties, they are now the indigenous natives of North America, and Central America, and South America. Yes? By your own hand, I have zero ties to Africa. That is not my home. I don't know nothing about them people. And the fact that they come over here, partner with you to attack me with their various, grifts, including Pan-Africanism. Now I really have no connection with them. My diabolical skin folk are just as much my enemy now as you are. You are now partnered. When they show up, they partner with you. So, stop telling me to go back to Africa. I don't know nothing about that place. I am a native of the United States of America. The most American of you all. Because you still smell like whatever chow you ate back in the home country. My chow is soul food. And in my case, halal soul food. My chow is soul food, American style. Peace.